Hey everybody, welcome back to this episode of Move Better Monday. Joe Gambino here. Today we're going to be talking about knee health and how we can make sure our knees are moving and feeling well long term. And when we look at the knee, we look at it as a hinge joint. That's what we call it, where primarily we all look at the knee and we think that all it does is it bends and extends. But there's also a rotational component to it. And when we look at healthy joints, rotation is the motion that we look at to determine if a joint is healthy and moving well. Usually rotation is the first things that disappear when there's either an injury or we don't use it enough. And that kind of predates some of the injuries that we see, or with the knee, right? You're going to lose flexion and extension after you lose rotation unless there was a contact injury or a major injury that happened at that time. So, we're going to go through some knee CARs, and the way that I like to assess my, not just assess, but also get a feel for how my knee is rotating, is using a slider under my foot, and if you're on like a hardwood floor or a laminate tiling or something like that, your socks will work because you'll slide pretty well, but on these floors, we won't slide too well, so I'll put a little valve slide underneath my foot. Now, there is a bone right here. This is like the top of our tibia. This very predominant bony landmark here. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to rotate my foot outwards, and I want to feel that bone rotate. And what I want to make sure is that my thigh does not move with it. So I'm going to move it out, and I'm going to move it in. And this is the motion that we're looking for here. This nice rotation, smooth, controlled, okay? What we are looking for here is that when you're going out, the angle from where you started to where your foot is should be roughly 40-45 degrees. And then when we go in, they say it should be the same, but usually I find that internal rotation is a little bit less than external rotation. External rotation being out, internal rotation being in. We expect that the in to be potentially a little bit less, but we're aiming to try to get both sides to be 45 degrees, all right? So, a couple things to pay in mind here as you're doing your reps. The first one is that when you're going out, you want to make sure that the outer part of the foot doesn't roll off the floor. A lot of times when people don't have range of motion here at the knee, they will just pick up the foot because now you're just creating some motion at the ankle to make up for the lack that this isn't rotating. So we're going to make sure that we don't do that there. And the same thing when we're coming in. As we're coming in, I don't want the inside of the foot coming in because again, we're using our foot to substitute for a lack of motion at the knee. So make sure your foot stays flat on the ground. You can put your finger right on that landmark we talked about. It should feel like a nice, hard, bony prominence here. And then you're going to rotate the tibia out as far as you can, keeping the foot flat, marking down how far you've gone, and then you're going to come back in the other direction, going as far as you can, and see how far that is. And then we're just going to repeat this process 10 times in each direction on both sides, and that's a very good and easy way. On a daily basis, you can touch base with knee rotation, keeping your knees healthier longer. Hopefully you guys get a lot out of this, and we'll see you next week.